awareness alone exists, this world never ever happened, never ever existed. What exists is the awareness itself. In the relativity, ingratitude is the sign of a coward. Why we need to have a good dharma, good righteousness? Because good righteousness is the path for us to have salvation, to recognize that you are ever awareness. Your indomitable, your unsurmountable awareness that you already are. A man that is selfishly drowning in impure motives will seldom appreciate the gift of goodness. To him, all can be easily sold to fulfill his voracious appetite for his unending desires. Naturally, such a one will make a friends only for the convenience and will barter his loyalty. The moment another holds for him a higher value for his desires, soon the friends becomes enemies and the enemies becomes friends. And one loses the purity of his self in the midst of this unrestful environment. I am giving an example of King Duryodhana from Mahabharata. In the glorious battle, the Mahabharata, this Duryodhana played this misfortune role. In the ignorance of greed, in the ignorance of arrogance, in the ignorance of selfishness, he had casted his brutality upon those who in their foolish webs of attachment had actually made the way for him to the throne. How can the one that is so obsessive in his desire ever recognize the greatness of the sacrifice? In fact, the mind of a tyrant will only perceive sacrifice as the sign of meekness. He is ready to receive what he wants, even at the cost of his own destruction. Desire is born when one is insecure with his own true self. Why else would one want more than what he already is? Desire is an easy, deceiving way to an undeserving gift. Recognize that one follows this path will only return at one point to the initial course of fears. King Duryodhana wanted an easy, deceiving way to receive the kingdom that belonged rightfully to his brother Pandavas. His desire brought him the army of arrogance to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But desire is deceit, and deceit is fearful. Fear is itself empty, but it watches the contents of the truth that surround it. Duryodhana began to enlist the powerful fighters in the Pandava army. It takes one truth to abolish many lies. Even though Pandava army was smaller in number to King Duryodhana, it appeared as the version of strength. When such fear envelops the mind of a man, one begins to doubt not only his own strength, but also the power of those who have assisted in this unscrupulous mission. Hence Duryodhana, as if to remind himself, mentioned aloud the greatness of his teacher Drona. When one himself is unaware of his own strengths and weaknesses, how can he in this state of delusion enumerate the quality in another? And when one doubts his own self, then how can he have faith and follow his teacher? It is obvious that the Duryodhana, in the state of his mental agitation, was foolishly attempting to bribe the lost favors of his respectable teacher Dronacharya. This is hypocrisy. And Dronacharya, with his dignified silences, delivered to King Duryodhana the message that he himself had already lost by simply making Duryodhana as a student. So, the Dronacharya supporting the student is also a mistake, blunder, because he is in the path of non-righteousness only for the sake of selfishness.